Hey guys, welcome to Jaxbeautifulyou. Today's video, we are going to be talking about some perfumes that were on my wish list, but they have been taken off. On second thought, I have changed my mind about these perfumes. I'm going to tell you what they are and why I have changed my mind and why they will not be coming into my collection. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. I really appreciate you being here. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your continued support. I truly appreciate you. Let's get into this video. Alright, the first fragrance is one that I have almost blind bought several times. This is by the House of Xerjoff and this is Decas. Listen, this perfume has been on sale at a really good price on Joma Shop, and because of the price, I kept thinking I'm just going to buy it. I have pretty good luck with Xerjoff, and most of their fragrances, not all, but a lot of them work out for me. So I thought I'm just going to go for it for the price. But there was something inside of me that said just test it first. Now here's the thing, when I tested it, I did like it. So I did put it back on my wish list, and I don't know, there's just something inside of me that waited. So I told myself, you know, this is a fragrance that's more for summertime, spring, summer. So I'm just going to wait for spring, summer. So now that I'm in the springtime mood, I went back to my sample, tried it again, and I realized I just don't love it. So it has a citrusy opening. I think it has some mandarin orange in the opening, but it also has some tobacco. So it's kind of interesting. It's got this citrusy feel. It's got tobacco, but then it has some florals in there. It almost has kind of like a juicy fruit bubblegum feel to it. And I think that's from the tuberose. I think there's some bubblegummy tuberose in the fragrance, which typically I really like. But it's kind of interesting with the bright citrusy opening. It does feel like a summertime fragrance, but it is also very ambery and very warm at the same time. So it's kind of a perfume that I found to be a little bit of a kind of a oxymoron, almost kind of like it clashed a little bit. And like I said, I liked it. I would spray it, I would wear it, and it's tempting. It's tempting to just buy something that when you see it at such a good price, but I've been trying to keep myself from just getting likes in my collection. Even at a good price, I don't just want likes, I want loves. And Decas is just not a love. So I have taken Xerjoff's Decas off of my wish list. Okay, another one that I had told you guys I tested and I thought I loved it and I thought I was going to get it, but I was waiting for summertime because this is a more tropical, fruity type of scent. I was so excited because I wanted another one of these bottles. This is God of Fire by Stephane Humbert Luca. And I went and retested it again just to make sure before I placed my order, and I'm so glad that I did because I couldn't stand it. I don't know what happened because when I tested it the first time, I told you guys I really was surprised at how much I liked it. It's a mango fragrance, and I struggle with mango sometimes. I'm not a big mango person. I cannot stand to eat mangoes. Ugh. No, I don't like them at all. They make me nauseous. And sometimes when I smell mangoes, I feel the same way. But if it's done a certain way in a perfume, sometimes I actually like it. So it has mango, lemon, ginger, and red berries. It's very tropical and fruity sweet. And then there's woody notes in here, and there's oud. As the perfume started to dry down, I got something kind of green in the fragrance as well. Yeah, there's cypriol oil in here. I got this weird note, this weird green feel running through the vein of the fragrance, and then that oud started to come forward and it started to smell kind of skanky. It wasn't working for me. So I have completely changed my mind about God of Fire. I really don't like that fragrance at all. So happy I retested it. It has definitely been taken off of my wish list. And I would have been really upset because those are not cheap perfumes. Those bottles are only 50 mils and they're pretty expensive. So if I had purchased that, that's why you got to go back, you know, especially if you test a fragrance a while back ago, you know, you got to and you wait because you're waiting for the right season to purchase the fragrance. It's always a good idea to test it one more time in that season when you're wanting to actually wear it just to make sure. And I'm so glad I did with God of Fire because it is a no. It is a hard pass for me. Up next we have by the House of BDK, this is Passes Soir, the Extrait. And I actually tried this twice. I had two different samples of this because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to add this into my collection. And it's not because I think it's bad in any way, shape, or form. I actually recommend the fragrance. but I'm such a lover of the OG. I have the OG Pas de Soir, and I love this one. This one's just perfect to me. And the other one is nice. It has slight differences, but it's not so different that I feel like I need it in my collection. Yes, there's some slight differences, but honestly, once it dries down, it kind of smells pretty much the same or really close. It's repetitive and it's super expensive. It's an expensive perfume. I don't want to have this perfume in my collection basically twice. If you struggle with the performance of the OG, like a lot of people do, it's probably going to be better for you to buy the Extrait version. If you don't already have the OG or you're not happy with the performance of the OG, try the Extrait because it is stronger. However, I have never been dissatisfied with the performance of Pas de Soir. I know some people really say the performance is poor on them. I do not have that experience. So I'm super happy with the OG. I just don't feel the need to get the Extrait. Okay, this next fragrance I almost purchased during a flash sale not too long ago that Joma Shop was having on Parfums de Marly. Fragrances, this is Parfums de Marly, and this is Althair, is maybe how you say it. Sorry if I butchered that. This fragrance I had tested and told you guys I really liked, and that is true. I do really like it, but I realized I don't love it. When they were having that flash sale, I thought, you know what, let me just double check. I went back to my sample, sprayed it on, and I still was just left with this, it's nice feeling. But it's not, even at the sale price, I just don't think I need this. There's something about it that I just don't absolutely love for some reason, and I can't really put my finger on it. I thought that there was cacao in here. There's something very dry to this fragrance. It's almost like a dry vanilla, like a dusty. It smells very dusty to me. I like delicate vanillas that are powdery, but this doesn't smell powdery. It smells dusty and dry, and I just don't love it. That's how it goes. That's just how it goes sometimes. I just don't love it. So there's cinnamon, cardamom, orange blossom, bergamot, bourbon vanilla. There's also elemi in the fragrance as well, and I do not get along with that note at all. Elemi has a very fresh, spicy, piney, balsamic smell with a citrus facet. And whenever I pick up on elemi, I get this like pine needle scent sometimes, and I started to pick that up in the fragrance, and that's not my favorite thing. So that's by Parfums de Marly, Althair. Okay, this next one had been on my wish list for a very, very long time. This is another one that I almost blind bought several times and almost blind bought during that sale. And something told me not to, and I actually got a sample, and I'm really happy that I did. I told you guys about this in my last testing. I was really surprised because this is such a love for so many people. But this is Cassili. Or, you know, I've heard people pronounce this Cassili or Cassili. I never know which one it actually is, but I'm just going to say Cassili for now. So many people have said smell like peaches. Even though there's no peach in the fragrance, a lot of people say they smell peach. I'm not sure what's causing that, but I got that. I got a peach smell to the fragrance, which isn't always my favorite. I actually really liked how it smelled on paper, or I mean, I didn't love it, but I liked it. I liked the way it smelled on paper, but it turned into a disaster on my skin. You know, I don't know that I would have ever truly loved this fragrance, even if it stayed the way that it was on paper on my skin, but I really didn't like the fragrance once I actually put it on my skin, and my skin chemistry just does not mix with this fragrance. So on paper it smelled like peach and cream, like peaches and cream basically. When I put it on my skin, it turned from peaches and cream into peachy bathroom air freshener. So I'm so glad I did not blind buy that fragrance, and I have definitely taken it off of my wish list because it is just not going to work out for me. So I know so many of you guys, when I told you guys that in my testing video, so many of you guys are like, what? Not Cassili, that's my favorite, I love it. And I know it's a well-loved fragrance, but sometimes your skin chemistry just doesn't like a perfume. So that one is no longer on my wish list. All right, up next we have a fragrance that I still think is absolutely amazing, but I took it off my wish list. I'll explain. So this is by Nishane, and this is Nefs. I still think this perfume is amazing. I have a sample of it. I go back to it from time to time, and I still am just shocked at how much I love it because it is definitely an oud fragrance, and I never would have thought in 1,000 years that I would love an oud fragrance. I can smell the oud for sure, but it's done in a way that I actually really like. And I had it on my wish list. It's very, very expensive, and I thought, okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and go for it because it's gorgeous. But then I kind of wondered, how often will I wear this fragrance? Even though I think it's beautiful, am I really going to wear this very often? This is a cold weather scent. It doesn't always get super cold here where I live. I don't know if I'd reach for it much. It's very expensive. What do I do? And then I discovered another oud rose fragrance that I loved even more than Nefs. So this is by the house of Benigna. I've been saying Benigna this whole time, but I think the G is silent. I think it's Benigna. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this was actually sent to me in PR. They asked me what fragrances I wanted to try from them, and I told them this one, but I got this one confused with a different fragrance. And when I realized they were sending me Worthiness, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a disaster. I hate oud, you know, there's no way I'm going to like it. They sent me 3 fragrances, and this is the one that I like the most out of the ones that they sent me. Worthiness blew me away. This is gorgeous. It's even better now that it has sat too. This definitely has rose and oud, but there's more to it than just that. It's not just your typical rosy oud. And I am not saying that this perfume smells like Nefs. They're not the same. They're different for sure. They definitely go in different directions, but they both have that rose oud DNA to them. And I like this one better. This one's more wearable for me. This one I enjoy so much, and I can't believe it because this is definitely an oud focused fragrance. But it is beautiful, and it's the first oud, well, not the first oud, but it's an oud that I can recognize, hey, that's oud, but it doesn't smell skanky or barnyard to me at all, and this is so pretty. Really amazing performance, and the bottle is just absolutely stunning. So now that I have this one, I really don't think I would reach for Nefs, because I'm not going to reach for 2 rose oud fragrances when I struggle with oud. The quality of this fragrance is just above and beyond in my opinion, and I love, like I said, I love the bottle. So Nefs is still an absolutely gorgeous fragrance, don't get me wrong. It's just too expensive to have a perfume in my collection and that I'm hardly ever going to wear. So still think it's an amazing perfume, but I'm going to pass. So that is by Nishane, Nefs. All right, up next we have a fragrance that I have gone all over the place with this perfume. And finally, I just decided, you know what? I just don't need it. If I just don't know that I love this perfume, I'm sick and tired of trying to determine whether I love this perfume or not. Obviously, it's not a full-on love if I have to just go back and forth, back and forth. So I'm talking about MFK's Grand Soir. So the first time I tried this fragrance, I was pretty new to perfumes, and I was like, heck no. Heck no. Like, no way. I really didn't like it. It smelled super masculine, and I did not understand the hype around that fragrance. Fast forward not too long ago, a few months ago, I was sniffing around at a Saks Fifth Avenue, tried Grand Soir again, and I was like, wow, this is gorgeous. This is an ambery vanilla, really beautiful fragrance. However, it was pretty masculine leaning. But when you spray it, it's masculine leaning in the beginning, but then when it dries down, it doesn't seem to be quite so masculine in the dry down. So I thought, you know, I think I really like this. Got a sample of it, and I keep testing it because the truth is that opening though, the opening is not my favorite. So even though I like the dry down, I don't want to spend money on a perfume that I don't love the entire wearing experience. I want to love my perfume from the beginning to the end. I don't want to have to sit through so much time of something that I don't really care for. There are too many amazing perfumes in my collection for that, and I just don't need to spend the money on a fragrance that I can't quite seem to get to the love place, even though I do think it's really good. And I definitely understand the hype behind it a lot more now than I did when I first started my perfume collecting. But it's still just not for me. So MFK's Grand Soir has been taken off my wish list. All right, up next we have a fragrance that I did not like at all at first, then I liked it. I've been all over the place with this perfume. This is by Ellis Brooklyn, and this is B. I have a travel spray of this. It's only halfway done. I've had this for a while. I really do like this fragrance, and I think I would have purchased it, but I found another fragrance that I love so much more than this that is honey focused. So the fragrance that I tested recently that I absolutely love is actually by Zaharoff, and it's called Aurum, I think it's called. But I tested that one a few months ago and knew I'm eventually going to get that. I haven't purchased it yet because I'm going to wait until spring and summer is over. It is definitely a fall-winter perfume. So when fall-winter hits, I will be purchasing that fragrance, but that one is very honey and nutty, and it has the most realistic honeycomb honey note in it. It's so delicious, and it blows bee out of the water for me. Bee is good. I like it, but it's not a love like that one is. So Ellis Brooklyn's Bee has been dethroned and taken off of the wish list. All right, up next we have by Goldfield Banks. This is Silky Woods, and I have a decant of Silky Woods, and I've tried it a few times now, and guys, I don't know, I just cannot get into this fragrance. It's not terrible. It's too woody. It's too oody. It's too woody. It's got leather. It's not sweet. To me, it's just too much of the stuff. I don't mind if there's oud and suede or leather in the base of a perfume, but if that's going to be in there, I need something in the top and the mid that like offsets it, so that's not the overpowering part of the fragrance. For instance, in Xerjoff's La Capitale, that has leather and oud in the base, but the strawberries are sweet, the caramel is sweet, and they have an equal part to play in the perfume, so it's not just this overpowering leathery oud. In here, it smells like the leathery oud is the overpowering part of the fragrance. I don't love it. I just don't love this one. I don't like it. And I tried the Elixir. I really didn't like that one. That one was super masculine. This one's still, yeah, I don't love this one. So, you know, I had it on my wish list because it was so popular. I just thought for sure people were kind of comparing it to other fragrances that I like in my collection. I thought for sure I was going to love it. But now that I have this decant and I've really tested it out, I don't like it. Okay, this last one I went back and forth on, and I might change my mind, but I think at this point I'm going to take it off my wish list just because, I don't know, cherry, I feel like I have enough cherry fragrances. So this is by Bohoboco, and this is Wet Cherry Liquor. I tested this one, I really liked it. I love a good boozy fragrance. I love a good boozy cherry fragrance. And this one is sweet cherry, very boozy, maybe too boozy for some people. You definitely have to be into boozy fragrances to like this, but I love boozy fragrances. So I really thought this was a nice fragrance. I really liked it. It is a little repetitive, you know, for the price. It just feels a little repetitive. I already have boozy cherries in my collection. This is not the same. They definitely smell different because this one has chocolate, but I have Navitus Parfums Venom of Love. This is definitely a boozy cherry with chocolate. Smells like a boozy chocolate covered cherry, and I really like this one. Plus I have a dupe for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry because I refuse to purchase the OG because the performance is so terrible. But I have a dupe for it that I layer with this one sometimes. That gives it a little bit more of that boozy cherry. I don't know. I feel like I have that boozy cherry sweet scent profile already. My favorite cherry fragrance in my collection, but this is completely different. It's not like the other ones. I love BDK's Rouge Smoking. The cherry in here smells like a spicy cherry Coca-Cola to me with lots and lots of tonka bean. This has got to be my favorite cherry scent, even though it's a different kind of cherry, but I don't know, guys. Wet Cherry Liquor, it just seems a little repetitive in my collection. And then I have another cherry fragrance that I will be adding into my collection. This one is by Mind Games, and this is French Defense. Now, when I heard about this fragrance, I thought, oh great, another cherry fragrance, but this is not like the other cherry fragrances. This is different. This is somehow different. This is like a dark black cherry. I love this fragrance. You guys, I am gonna get this. So this is expensive, and I have debated back and forth if I'm going to actually shell out the money for this. I'm going to. My birthday's coming up in April. I'm going to ask my husband to buy this for me for my birthday. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I just need to smell it. This is so good. Now, I think this is my favorite cherry fragrance. It's so good. But anyway, Wet Cherry Liquor, I just don't feel like I'm gonna have, I didn't have the same reaction to that fragrance as I did to this fragrance, French Defense, even though they're completely different. But yes, I liked it, but it's repetitive. I don't need it. I have other I have other purchases that I need to be focusing on right now. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take Wet Cherry Liquor off of my wish list, even though I do think it's good and I do like it. Guys, if you have not tried French Defense by Mind Games, get your nose on it because it literally takes my breath away. It's so good. That's it for today's video. Those are the fragrances that I've taken off my wish list and why. And I would love to hear from you. Have you tried fragrances, put them on your wish list, and then realized you made a mistake, let me know what they are in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the perfumes that I have talked about today. Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. I love to hear from you. And if you did like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having an amazing day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!